Greetings. Internet Bloodsports is dying, and I suppose that's a good thing, since it has gotten old. A day or two ago, JF left Worski Live, which doesn't really surprise me, since to begin with, JF and Andy Worski, they're like two very different kinds of people, so it's not a shock that it ended up in an e-divorce. Anyways, I want to discuss what made Bloodsports good and why it's shit now. Like, it started off with basically exposing skeptic bullshit, mainly with the crowd drama. It wasn't simply about, drama. It was also about pointing out what kind of people these rational skeptics are. And of course, then there was the Sargon-Spencer debate that sort of demolished Sargon's ego, and he started the joke now known as the liberalists. And the Bloodsports, they discussed the Jewish question, even a little bit of 9/11 with Ryan Dawson, and then there was the Jay Dyer debate. So there were these, let's say, somewhat, I don't want to say intellectual, but like meaningful topics that they discussed, along with Internet Bloodsports, this verbal battle between opponents. Like, it had this element of entertainment and also element of something more meaningful, which was nice. But now it's mainly degraded or degenerated into just pointless e-celebrities bitching about pointless e-celebrity stuff. And also Andy Worski, he did some good things. He became Race Worski and all of that. That was cool. And he also trademarked the liberalist label, which pissed off Sargon of Akkad, and that was great. But then Andy sort of screwed it up because he didn't really go anywhere with it. Like, there was 2 days of fun. He trademarked it or copyrighted it or whatever, and there were some laughs. But he should have gone a bit further, like, make some sort of event or some website or something to do with the liberalist stuff. Like, of course, the joke would have gotten old after a week or two, but sort of Andy just dropped it. Like, he could have done more damage to, Sargon and his cult of individuals with it. And of course, like, supposedly the main catalyst for the breakup between JF and Andy is that Andy slandered or misrepresented Chris Cantwell, who was one of his guests, and I didn't see the debate or discussion or anything. I saw some short clips of Andy whining about his anti-Semitism or something, and it's possible I misunderstand some aspects of it, but I know that JF made a video pointing out how Andy lied about Cantwell, and I don't really know who Cantwell is either, like really basic stuff. I guess that's thanks to Blacked Alaska, because he got a strike on pretty much all of the archive channels such as Chronos, American Pride, and all of these. And I don't have the time or the interest to watch 70 hours of Bloodsports each day, so I cannot just see the most interesting clips. But anyway, I get the impression that Andy Worski learned nothing during the last few months, even though he had, Halsey with his pill pool and Nick Fuentes and others pointing it out, that he didn't learn anything about Jews, for example, that there is a good reason why there is this called the Jewish question, that it's not just some hateful right-wing propaganda or because people have nothing better to do, so that's why they focus on the Jews. Like, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Like, even after JF is gone, I hope Andy does a lot to expose the Jewish influence in society. I highly doubt it, because I had hopes that, Andy would get quote-unquote red-pilled but apparently not. He still seems to be the same shitty little skeptic at heart. And now most of the Bloodsport is just e-celebs whining about pointless drama. And yet drama can be fun sometimes, but you have to spice it up with something stronger and more meaningful and all that. But for JF, he will probably continue discussing more relevant ideas. I'm not like a real fan of JF or anything. Like him, I care about ideas. And for the most part, he's been bringing forth relevant ideas that people should discuss. And so I hope he continues doing that. And I hope all the other Bloodsports, unless they actually provide some sort of meaningful content, then they should die off. But yeah, like Black Alaska, he was the best example of how everything seems to degrade or rot at an accelerated rate. Like he started whining about toxic people and how he just turned leftist. Well, he worked for Warner Bros. Records or music or whatever it's called, and he was at BuzzFeed, and then he became some alt-right celebrity. So what was his motivation? Was he like really controlled opposition, or was he just in it for the attention and the money? Or did he actually believe some of the shit at some point? But yeah, Bloodsports is shit nowadays. There's no blood, and well, there's not really any sport either. So I hope something like the good aspects of Bloodsports, aggressive debate and discussion over relevant issues. I hope that continues on the internet, on YouTube or whatever other, hopefully some better platform than YouTube. So I hope that survives in some sense and mutates into something better. But these fucking e-celebrities that just want their 15 minutes of e-fame, I hope they all just disappear and people forget about them except in like jokes or something.